Hello, my friends. It's definitely a great opportunity again to share with you some thoughts out of the Word of God, some scriptures, and to challenge you. The Lord's been good to me, and the Lord's definitely good to you. He's given us life and breath and everything that we have. Um, I tell you what, if you ever want to complain and think that things are hard in your life, and of course everybody's having a hard time, I'm sure. A lot of people are even suffering. People are going through some hardships. Try going to a foreign country. Try going to Honduras or the Philippines. I've been to the Philippines and see little children walking around on the streets, 5 years old, with no family. We've got it good in America. But I want to share with you just a few thoughts this morning out of Romans chapter 3. About just and justified. The Bible uses the term just or justification. And justification simply is a legal term which means to be declared righteous, to be declared without fault, without blame. And the biggest problem I have with religion, now of course I like good people, but I don't like religion. And the biggest problem I have with religion is religion, of course, being man's effort to try to please God, man's effort to try to satisfy God by some work. And they may claim to know Jesus, they may claim to be Muhammad or whoever. But the Word of God tells us that God is just. And Jesus is called the just and the justifier. And justification, being declared righteous, is through faith. But we're going to look at this in Romans chapter 3 and verse 25, whom God has set forth to be a propitiation, that is a satisfactory sacrifice, through faith in his blood, to declare his righteousness for the remission of sins that are past through the forbearance of God. To declare, I say, at this time his righteousness, that he might be just and the justifier of him who believeth in Jesus, which believeth in Jesus. Twice he tells us here in verse 25 and 26 to declare his righteousness. See, God has already declared in previous verses, their throat is an open sepulchre, their mouth is full of cursing and bitterness, their feet are swift to shed blood. That's everybody. And that's even religious folks. Religious people don't think that they sin anymore, and they condemn others when they do sin. But God has condemned all mankind. God has said that all mankind has broken his rules, his commandments. And God says, the soul that sinneth, it shall die. But God declares Christ's righteousness, that he might be the just and the justifier. The one who declares someone righteousness, someone declared righteous, how? Which believeth in Jesus. Now I want to illustrate this, if I may, in how religion warps the righteousness of God. I'm going to try and do this quickly. But just imagine if someone had done a horrible crime. Let's just imagine, men, women, you can put this in your mind too in some way. But just imagine someone breaks into your house and does some horrible crime against you and does something like beats up or even murders your family. Now that would be a horrible thing. Now let's just imagine this person is caught and he goes before the judge. And the jury has found him guilty. All the evidence is pointing that he has committed this crime. But let's just say that the person gets up. He said, the judge, before pronouncing sentence, says, do you have anything left to say? Do you have any less words? And the man just gets up with tears in his eyes and says, well, I regret what I did. I'm sorry, Your Honor, that I did all these things. These were wicked things. And I promise I'll never do it again. Will you please forgive me? Now, what if this judge just says, you know what? I believe you were sincere. I believe you really full-heartedly felt wrong about this, so I'm just going to forgive you. That's how religion treats the gospel. They say that if you'll just sincerely ask God to forgive you, oh, they won't deny that Jesus died for sins. They'll deny that Jesus paid the sin penalty. But what they do that's unjust is they say now you must ask God to forgive you. Well, if that is the case, then the soul that sinneth, it shall die is not true. Why would God just forgive sins? Why did Christ pay the penalty? Did he pay the penalty? Did he suffer for their sins? If he did pay the penalty, which he did, if he did die and rise again, which he did, if he did offer his blood on the mercy seat in heaven and obtain eternal redemption for us, then why tell man you have to ask God to forgive you? Why? You know why? Because they don't believe that they are forgiven. See, God justifies us by faith. And I'm hoping to cover some more about this subject next time. Why are we forgiven? How do you obtain forgiveness? See, forgiveness has been obtained. Until you believe it, you'll go to hell. So I hope that you'll consider the scriptures, consider Romans chapter 3, and we're going to look at some more scriptures next time. Thank you very much, and God bless you.